Hello, my dear children. Welcome to today's class. So, what are we learning about? We are learning about very special creatures called birds. So, do you like birds? Different colored birds. They look so beautiful. The green parrot and a kingfisher, blue in color. Then beautiful sparrow, jet black crow, and dangerous eagle. So they are so beautiful, and I just love watching birds. Uh, Ostrich, that is so huge. Once I went to a zoo and I saw emu, ostrich, and the birds of which the names I never heard of, and they were so beautiful. Some were small, some were so big, some had some different kind of beak, some were just climbing the tree. So there was this whole cage in there, and there were so many birds, different birds, and I just keep on watching them for hours and hours standing over there. So let's see that what are birds, what special features does bird have, what food do they eat, and how are they different from one another. Do they have different body parts? They have different beaks, they have different colors. Some of them can fly, some of them cannot. So let's see, and let's see where are they found also. Now, special features of a bird. How do we know that a creature which is flying in air is a bird? Because there are insects also which fly. But how do we know that a flying creature is a bird? So a bird has a head, a body, a beak, a tail, wings which have feathers on them, scaly legs, woody scaly legs, and feet called claws. So these are few things that a bird has. Every bird has these common body parts. They might modify, the beak might be different, the claws might be different, but they have these body parts in common: a beak, feathers, wings, legs, and their feet called claws. So, shall we start with the chapter? Birds can be seen all around us. We can see birds of different sizes, colors, and sounds. So, different birds have different sounds. Voice of a cuckoo, a quail, is so melodious, and whereas people do not like to hear voice of a crow. They have a special appearance and a body structure. They have a backbone. So they have a backbone over here, a bone that goes on the back. Human beings, we also have this backbone. So birds also have backbone, and the creatures that have backbone, animals that have backbone, they are called vertebrates. What are they called? They are called vertebrates. So birds are vertebrates, human beings are vertebrates. So all the animals having a backbone is a vertebrate. Feathers on their body make them special. They have two wings to fly. So they have two wings to fly. They have feet called claws and a beak. Their legs are scaly. So I told you they have scaly wood-like legs, and the shape of the beaks of different animals is different. So the beaks of the different birds, they differ from each other according to the food they eat. So for example, this is a parrot. As you observe, the beak of the parrot is short, curved, and strong. The beak of the duck is broad, flat, with holes at the side. Sparrow has a short beak. Eagle has a strong, curved beak. Crow again has a small beak. Pigeon has a small beak, penguin. So similarly, you can see all the birds of different shapes, sizes, different claws, different beaks, and different kind of feathers also. All right. So parrot, duck, sparrow, eagle, crow, pigeon, penguin, ostrich, the largest bird with such long legs. And then their claws and the kiwi. See, a kiwi has such a long beak. Okay, so that's what is written over here, that birds are found in different sizes and shapes of their beaks. Many birds fly long distance during winter and summer. So what happens in some of the countries when the temperature is extremely cold and there is snow all over, and then there is scarcity of food also, lack of food also, and weather is very harsh. What do birds do? They fly from that colder region to the warmer region every year. So they remember the whole way and they travel the same way every year, and they fly thousands of kilometers, like one of the migratory birds. So this seasonal movement of birds from colder places to the warmer places is called migration. And from Australia, when the temperature in Australia is extreme, the birds like Siberian crane actually travel to India, and they know the whole way to India. They fly from Australia to India every year. And in India, we can see in summer season, we can see the Siberian crane from Australia. So see, foreign birds come to India. They migrate to India. They migrate to different countries. So many birds fly long distance during winter and summer. They do so to avoid extreme temperature during summer or winter in their areas. This helps them in finding food, and this traveling to other destinations and back home is called migration of birds. So see how laborious these birds are, how smart these birds are. They travel to different destinations and then they go back home. I just wonder that these birds never need any passport to go from one country to another, just like humans do. Now, birds lay eggs to produce their offspring. So, how do birds reproduce? How do they give birth to their young ones? All the birds, they lay eggs, and when the eggs are being warmed by the mother bird, and when the time is right, the egg of the bird, they hatch and the baby bird comes out to life. Okay, so the eggs are hatched and the offsprings of the birds come out to life. Now, what makes a bird fly? Why can't we fly? Why can't land animals fly? Why only mainly the birds fly? Even a big size bird can also fly. What makes them fly? So number one, we know that anything which is light in weight can fly. If the body will be heavy, the no one will be able to fly. So this one of the special feature of bird is that it has hollow bones, and the hollow bones in the body make the bird's body very light and suitable for flying. Now, what is a hollow bone? Hollow bone is something, just imagine that this is a bone, okay, and it is hollow from inside. So we can see from here, it is hollow from inside. It does not contain anything in between. So if this is a bone, it is just like a container. It does not have anything inside. It is hollow. Okay, so that's how the bird's bones are very light. So when this is hollow, so how does it look like? It is like this. Just this is the bone Just this part is the bone and the rest part is empty from inside. It is hollow, and that's why it makes the bones and the body of the bird very light. Secondly, the wings, the muscles of the wings, the arms of the wings have been modified into wings. Okay, and these wings have very strong muscles to pull the body up for the birds, and these wings have feathers on them called flight feathers. So it has feathers on them which make the wings light in weight and they can flap it in air. Also, the body of the bird is pointed from front. So it is pointed from front, and that's how it makes the body of the bird streamlined. Streamlined, and when it is pointed and when it is flying in air, it can cut through the air and move forward. So these three features make the bird suitable for flying. It is the shape of the body and the light bones of the bird that make birds fly. The body of the bird is streamlined. It is pointed in front. It helps in cutting the air and moving forward. The hollow bones make the body of the bird very light, which is very helpful in flying high. Their beak is also very light in weight, and they have two wings in place of arms. These wings are made of flight, and strong muscles of chest help in flying. The lungs of the bird have air sacs that supply extra oxygen during flight. So, apart from the body, inside their body, apart from the hollow bones, they have lungs. Because they breathe in oxygen, they have lungs, and those lungs have extra air sacs, and those air sacs supply with extra oxygen to the birds when they are flying. Now, let's see what are the different shapes of the claws and the beaks of the different birds. Every bird has 2 feet attached to scaly and woody legs. So, these are the scaly and woody legs, and there are 2 feet, 2 claws attached to them, and these feet are called claws. The claw of the bird play a very important role in holding, sitting, pulling. Okay, so the claws play a very important role. They sit on the branch with the help of their claw. They catch their prey with the help of their claw. Then they have to pull something, they do that with the claw. The claws of a bird can be horny, pointed, curved, bent, and sharp. So the claws are never blunt. They are usually pointed, curved, bent, sharp, because birds actually catch their prey mainly with their claws and their beaks. Also, their claws protects them from their enemy. Okay. The shape of the claws depends upon many factors. So there are many factors according to which the claws of the birds are being made. The perching birds. What are the perching birds? The birds that sit on the branch of the tree. They also sleep while sitting on the branch of the tree, and their claws are such that they help in grasping the branch of the tree very tightly, so that even while sleeping, they do not fall off the branch. So, the perching birds have independent and flexible toes. They are used for grasping the branch while sitting on the tree. One toe of the claw is pointed backward for a strong hold on the branch, like sparrow, pigeon, etc. So what happens? This is a sparrow, and as you can see, one toe is at back and the rest of them are in front. So when the rest of the toes are in front and one toe is at the back, it helps in grasping the branch of the tree very firmly. Okay, and such birds are called perching birds. Then comes the climbing birds, the birds that climb the bark of the tree with the help of their claws. How would they do that? With the front claws, they will climb, with the back claws, they will push themselves forward. So, such birds have two toes in front and two toes at the back. All right. So, like woodpeckers, parrots, they have claws with two toes pointing forward and two toes pointing backward. The shape of the claws help in climbing up and down the trees. So, see, this is a claw of a perching bird, three toes in front, one at the back, and of a climbing tree, two toes in front and two toes at back. Now comes the swimming birds. Because they have to swim in water, they need to push the water backward to move forward. They have webbed feet. A webbed feet looks like this when they have claws and their claws are being attached with a web kind of a thing. Okay, with the web kind of a thing. Now comes the waddling or walking birds. So the birds that are that walk on the ground or are the waddling birds, the toes should be such that it helps the bird to walk. The birds do not fall off. For example, kingfisher, crane, herons, they have such kind of claws which help them to walk. And a waddling bird claw looks like this. So pictures can come in the test papers and then you have to identify that which claw is of which kind of bird. Then comes the raptors or the birds of prey. Those birds which are carnivores and they have to catch their prey very tightly in their claws so that the prey does not get run away, it does not escape. So, and it kind of tear the flesh of the bird of their prey with their claws. Okay, and such strong pointed claws, it is called talon. It is called talon. And which kind of birds have talons? Hawks, vultures, owls, okay, eagles. So they have large claws that are molded a little inwards. They can easily catch and hold their prey with such claws, and their claws are called talons. Hawks, owls, eagles, and vultures have such claws. Now comes the scratching birds. Those birds that keep on scratching the ground to take out worms from the ground, to take out food from the ground. Such birds are called scratching birds, and their claws are such that they should be able to scratch the ground, scratch the dust, and then find out insects and seeds. Their claws are strong and fleshy. So, scratching birds like chickens and hens have such claws that help in scratching the surface of dust or litter to find out seeds and insects. Their claws are strong and fleshy, and it looks like this. This is a claw of a hen, a scratching bird. Then comes the birds who are runners. So some birds like ostrich, they cannot fly. So how do they move from one place to another? They walk, or mainly they run. And when they run, their feet should be flat and spread wide so that they can actually make a good balance on the ground and they do not fall off while they are running. So such birds are called runners, and such claws are, they look like something like this. Runners have powerful claws and very strong legs, as they have to kick often with their legs to protect themselves. Kiwis, penguins, and ostriches are some runners. So you must have seen a penguin running like this. So because it cannot fly, so it uses its legs to run. Ostrich, kiwi, and penguins, they have very uh, strong and developed legs and claws. Now, what are the feeding habits of a bird? Like, what do birds eat? Some of them eat just nuts and seeds. Some of them eat fish. Some of them eat dead animals. Some of them eat seeds or fish, insects. Now, let's see. Living, like all living creatures, birds too need food for energy. They feed on animals and plants depending on their feeding habits. So, just like human beings, they also feed on animals and plants. Some birds feed on seeds and fruits of a plant. For example, parrot, blue jay, hummingbird, etc. And the other birds feed on insects and small animals like kingfisher, crane, woodpecker. Whose small animals? Insects and small fishes. They eat that. Some birds eat dead animals and they are called scavengers. These scavengers actually are known for cleaning our environment because wherever there are dead animals, they see from the top that there is some dead animal and they feed on dead animals. And for example, vultures, eagles, ravens, etc. Some birds eat fish and some eat worms hidden under the soil. For example, robins, woodpeckers, etc. All right, so let's write that what makes birds special. Their hollow bones, their feathers, streamlined body, and lungs filled with air sacs make them special. What is special about the beaks of the bird? Different birds have different beaks according to their feeding habits. Habitat of birds. Most of the birds live on trees. They make their nest and lay eggs in them. So what happens? Most of the birds, they live on trees. But there are some birds which live in water also, and there are some which live on land also. For example, penguin, they live on snow. Okay, so but most of them, they live on trees. But some of the birds, they do not make their nest. Like a woodpecker, what does it do? It lives in the hollow of the bark of the tree. So they live in the hollows of the trunk and branches of the tree. Some birds have roomy nest, very like what are large roomy nests? The nests which are very big. So they build such kind of nest, and some birds live on land. For example, ostrich. Ostrich lives on land. They are the birds who cannot fly. Like birds like ducks, swan, they live in water. So see how different colored birds are there with different beaks, claws, different shapes, sizes, and how beautiful are they looking. Cock, bulbul, sparrow, myna, pigeon, kite, weaver bird, vulture. See what a beautiful nest a weaver bird builds. Now, these are the terms that we learned today. Vertebrates, animals with a backbone are called vertebrates. Streamlined, body pointed at the front to offer minimum resistance to the air. Also remember that birds are animals that can fly. Birds have a unique body with a beak, two claws, two wings to fly with. Birds have feathers on their body. Birds lay eggs to reproduce. Birds have claws of different types depending upon the needs to hold, grab, pull, or climb. Birds have different types of beak depending upon their feeding habit. Some birds build their nests, some live in holes on branches or trunks. Some birds live on land and some live in water. Let's complete this exercise and see what have we learned in today's lesson. You have to choose the correct option. Birds have wings to fly with. Dash makes the wing lightweight. Feathers. Birds are called vertebrates because they have a backbone. Hollow bones make the body of the birds very light to fly. Water birds have webbed toes. Now let's fill in the blanks. The birds have a backbone and so they are called vertebrates. The body of the bird is covered with feathers. Hollow bones of the bird make their body very light. Sacs in the lungs of the birds provide extra oxygen during flight. The claws of the birds are mostly sharp, pointed and curved. Now let's match the pictures of the birds with their names. This is a parrot, this is a penguin, this is a sparrow, then it's a duck, a woodpecker and a pigeon. You have to answer the following questions in your notebook yourself. We can discuss over here in short. What makes the body of the bird light in weight? Their hollow bones, streamlined body, lungs filled with sac and the feathers on the wings. How does a streamlined body help a bird in flying? Streamlined body helps the bird to cut through the air. What role do the feathers play in the movement of the bird? Feathers actually help the bird to fly. How are the claws of a swimming bird different from the other birds? Swimming birds have webbed feet. Other birds have sharp, pointed, curved toes. Who are called scavengers? The birds that feed on dead animals are called scavengers. And the three examples are eagle, vultures and raven. Now, these are some fun-based questions that you can do with your family, with your friends, in groups and have fun with the lesson. So you have to make a collage with the pictures of different types of claws and beaks and birds and explain the need for such claws for individual birds. Then there are few riddles over here. I'll do two for you. Rest two you are going to do with your friends in groups. I tear my prey with my claws. I like to eat dead animals. That means it's a scavenger. I have a big roomy nest always on the top of the tree. That's a vulture. When people see my big wide eyes, they say the bird is very wise. But they cannot see me waking up after sunrise. That's an owl. All right, so rest two I leave on you. You are going to do with your friends. Now, what you can do is you can keep the earthen bowls filled with fresh water outside your house in the balcony and feed the fresh birds, feed the birds with water because they become very thirsty when they are flying in air. So that's all in this chapter. I hope you have learned a lot many facts about birds and now you will try to identify the different beaks and claws of the birds. That's all for today. Keep learning, keep shining. Bye-bye.